What is up, Flick fans? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking the brand new horror film that is Smile. Did this movie make me smile? Let's do it. Also, I want to say I am in New York at the New York Film Festival. Thanks for being with me in my hotel room. That sounded weird. I hope my wife's not watching. After witnessing a bizarre traumatic incident involving a patient, Dr. Rose Cotter starts experiencing frightening occurrences that she can't explain. As an overwhelming terror begins taking over her life, Rose must confront her troubling past in order to survive and escape her horrifying new reality. This film is rated R for strong, violent content, grisly images, but not a grizzly bear, and language. But imagine if it was a grizzly bear following people around Smile. I think that would be a scarier movie. No, listen, I didn't know what to expect from this film because I saw the premise and there was a movie that it reminded me of, and just the idea behind this trailer, and that movie is Truth or Dare. And I did not like Truth or Dare. I thought that was a failed attempt at this type of experiment. Instead of Truth or Dare, this film feels more like It Follows. Now, Austin, what do you mean by that? It Follows is one of those horror films that has a deeper meaning, and it actually has something to say. This film actually has something to say not only about mental illness, but it takes that a step further and incorporates those horror ideas to make you fearful from the jump scares. And there's a lot of jump scares in this movie. One thing that It Follows doesn't have, and I think It Follows is a better movie, but it doesn't have this sheer amount of jump scares. The build-up, the music, the way that it hits, and not every jump scare fully lands like they expected it to, and they didn't quite get me, right? It takes a lot to get me with the jump scare. They didn't quite get me, but they were effective. I can't say a word without a siren, or a loud explosion, or a car door. And that's the thing, too. You want a movie with the right amount of, okay, we're going to try to scare the audience, because that's what you expect, that's what you hope for going into a film like this. Even though, horror movies, they always get the most mixed responses. It's like, I was scared, but I wasn't scared in the way that I thought I was going to be scared, or vice versa. This film scares you in numerous ways. It scares you with the premise. It scares you with the idea that this girl, she believes she is being followed by something so simple. People standing and smiling. It's amazing how you can make something, the simplicity of what this movie is trying to do. It's ridiculous on its surface, but it's effective with its execution, and I think that comes from our director. Parker Finn is someone to be on the lookout for, both writing and directing this film. A film that, again, takes it a step further in every single way than I expected. Now, is that step that this movie goes, is it something that's going to set it apart from all of the other horror movies I've ever seen? No, because this is such a familiar concept and idea. The Grudge, The Ring, the horror movies of the early 2000s, of the mid-2000s that had this exact same concept where someone believes they are seeing something but doesn't want to fully commit to the fact that they are seeing something until it's a life or death situation. I mean, it follows the formula. It follows It Follows. Zinger. But it goes in the way you think it's going to go. It's all about the execution, about the technical elements, the cinematography, the idea of following this character around, spending 5 to 10 minutes building up a moment, building up a situation, and almost always paying off on that moment with a scare. Whether that be a jump scare, whether that be just that very slight image that you can see in the background. It's that type of thing that gets you unnerved, and it's these types of movies that make you feel a certain way. And as cliche as Smile does kind of get down the stretch, and it almost substitutes giving us a sense of finality with these themes with just kind of the standard and cliche horror movie ending that is effective. But it's not effective in the way that the first half of the movie was effective. It felt like they were trying to say something, and they're building all of that up, and then, well, it's a horror film. We have to end it like a horror film ends it. So, yeah, they did that, and that was really unfortunate that they did that. But it was just the way that they went about building it up. It's also a movie that has one moment where I felt the pace of the film. I'm like, okay, we could have sped this up. But overall, I found the pacing to be quite good. I found it to be an easy movie to get through, even though it's not an easy movie to get through, because obviously you're kind of terrified as you're going. But pacing-wise, it wasn't bad. Before I give you guys my score, I want to say thanks again for being here with me. I'll have some New York Film Festival reviews coming for you guys.
Hey, smile. I literally just said smile, you idiot. Smile. Perfect. Good job. Good job.
While they are scattered throughout, Smile is more than just a jump scare filled horror movie. This is a story that goes deeper than expected with its themes, scares, and imagery. It gets less impactful as it wraps up, but the journey is one worth taking, and I'm going to go 72% with my score. This is a recommendation from me. I do wish it was a little more consistent throughout than we could have had. Maybe Horror Movie of the Year on our hands, but still a nice surprise and better than Truth or Dare. God, that movie is terrible.